Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to make INTU Roller Blind. And before I start making it, I wanted to show you every single component that I'm going to use to make this blind up. So we'll need fascia cover, tube, bottom bar, a pair of side channels, and a spring. Okay, so let's get started then. The very first step, well, obviously I forgot to mention that one of the most important parts of the blind is obviously fabric. So the very first step to make this blind is to put a spring. It's inside of a tube. Like so, and then on the other side of the tube, I'm going to put the idle end in. Just be careful. There's a little metal pin in the middle of the idle end. Just try to avoid knocking that in, because it's sort of loose. If I hit it with a hammer, it would probably go in. Okay, and the next step now is to put the tube with the spring in on the fabric. And this fabric looks exactly the same on either side of it, but what it is, the way you put the tube on the fabric is that the front side of the fabric has to face up. Okay, and the way I'm putting the tube on the fabric is that the flat pin on the tube has to be on the right hand side. And as you can see, the one edge of the fabric is in the middle of the plastic end of the tube, and on the other side it's exactly the same as in the middle of the plastic end of the tube. And then just fold the fabric over and stick it on the sticky strip that is on the tube, on the top, against the top edge of that strip, sticky tape. Like so. Use the top edge of this sticky tape as your guide to make sure that the fabric is stuck on it straight. Then roll the fabric up on the tube. And now in the next step, I'm going to put the bottom bar on the fabric, but in order to do so, firstly we're going to have to cut the corners of the fabric out using notch tool. This side. Just like so. And now I'm going to cut those corners out. Just I need to be careful not to cut it over. So I'm going to cut it around like that, making sure that it's cut straight. Okay, and the next step now is to put the self-adhesive clear tape on the very bottom of the fabric. Like so. And now to make sure that the that self-adhesive clear tape doesn't come off the fabric, I'm going to use a staple gun and staple it onto the fabric. More or less every 100 mil, one staple. Okay, and now I'm folding the fabric over, which enables me to slide the like so the folded fabric perfectly fits in the bottom bar, like so. The next step is to put the bottom bar end caps on the bottom bar. And now the other end cap on the other side. Okay, so now we've got the fabric on the tube and the bottom bar on the fabric, and the next step is to prepare the fascia for the tube with the fabric on, to put inside of it here. And now, in order to do so, I'm going to put the tube brackets inside of the fascia. The same on the other side. And now I'm going to put the roller blind into the fascia. But the trick is that you need to make sure that the flat pin end goes on the right hand side, and the fascia is laid out the way that the taller part of it is facing, well, it's on the bottom here. See the and before I put the tube with the fabric in the fascia, I'm going to put the tension on the spring. The spring has to be tensioned, and to do that, I'm going to use a winding tool. It's basically this, and depending on the size of the tube, I'm going to put appropriate amount of turns on the spring here. So this roller blind is 500 mil wide, and basically the way you determine amount of turns to put on the spring is that every 100 mil is 1 turn plus 2 in the end. So this is 500 mil, so I'm going to put 7 turns on the spring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you twisted the clockwise. Very important thing. And now the round pin goes into the bottom slot in the bracket, in the fascia bracket here. And the flat end likewise goes into the bottom slot and in the other bracket on the other side of the fascia. And now we need to make sure that the gaps between the brackets and the edge of the fascia is equally spaced on either side. And to do it, I'm going to use a notch tool again. This is exactly the same tool that I used to cut the corners on the fabric. It's got two slots on the other side of it, and I'm going to use the bigger one here to determine the gaps between the edge and the bracket, like I said. Okay, this seems equally spaced on either side of the fascia. And now to make sure that the brackets don't move up and down in the fascia, I'm going to use these screws. And the blind is nearly done. The very last step now is to put the fascia end caps on. Okay, the blind is done. Now we can test if it works smooth enough, if it runs up and down straight. And this one seems perfect. I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with myself. Okay, so the roller blind is done now. The next step is to do the side channels for it. Got two large side channels. We use two sizes of side channels in here, a standard one and a large one. This one is a large one. Standard one is slightly narrower. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the side channel end caps on. But firstly, I'm gonna have to punch little holes in the side channels to be able to put the end caps on. And to do so, I'm using a punch tool. This punch tool here. And to make those holes, I'm going to insert the side channel into a slot here and just punch it. And now the other end of the side channel, same principle. And the same thing with the other side channel, like so. Okay. So the side channels are punched now. Now I'm going to put the end caps on them, and like I said, they will slot into those holes here. But to make sure that I use the right end caps, I need to find out if they match pretty much. So I'm using this edge here, and I'm matching it up with the narrower edge of the side channel here. It should clip into the hole that I just punched. Now, bottom end caps, the same principle. Just try to find the edge that matches with the end cap with the side channel, like so. And the side channels are done now. So we've got our roller blind made and the side channel ready as well. And the very last step now, in order to finish the whole order off, is to get all the brackets and fittings ready. And I've got them all prepared there. These are being basically sent along with the rest of it. We just supply them. It's retaining brackets, top brackets, bottom brackets, and clear bottom bar handle. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it helps.